So today, everyone, we are going back 20 years. And Mark Viduka is in his prime. It brings my boy, it brings a tear to my eye. Yes, the mad scientist has done it yet again. A new FM retro database, this time 20 years in the past. It's 2001, 2002. Let's check this out and also show you guys how you can get your hands on it. So if you're not familiar with the concept of a retro database, it's relatively straightforward. It's a database themed around an older version of Football Manager. In this case, we're going back to 2001, 2002. The mad scientist has taken all the player attributes from the old version of Championship Manager, moved them into FM21, over 1 million changes, and the result is absolutely phenomenal. So if you want to check this out, down below I will have links to the mad scientist as well as other contributors on this project. There will also be a few different links to different downloads, including a face pack made by AJW, as well as an FM file, which is a save file, and a .fmf file. There are two different things that you can do. So the .fm file is a save game. It loads like any other Football Manager save game. You click load game, select the .fm file, and it will just load up in Football Manager seamlessly. Or alternatively, you can start a new career. You're going to make sure that your database here is set to be the Football Manager 2021 version that you see here. This is very important, otherwise it won't work. And then once you've got the database file in the editor data folder, I will have the exact file path for that down in the description. You just confirm the selection of it. You are then going to go to Advanced Setup. And then when it comes to advanced setup, there's a few different settings, but the big thing of note is the leagues which are actually playable in this database. Those leagues are the Premier League and the old Division 1 in England, the top two flights of Italy and Spain. You've got the Bundesliga, Ligue, and the Scottish Premiership. Worth noting, if you've got a real name fix like I have here, it won't have the old names for necessarily all of the leagues, but we can see it's working here because it's called the Championship, the English First Division. Anyway, for the benefit of this video, we're just going to load up the .fm save file, which I've already had a little poke around. I got very excited about it, wanted to see this early. At the time of recording, this has not been released yet, but it will be released the day that you're seeing this. It's freely available for download. The Mad Scientist does have a Patreon page where you can choose to support the project, and as a result of that, you get early access to files as well as new leagues and such as they are added. So for me personally, I think there's only one place where you can start. Shall we take a look at the Premier League, where United are quite good, aren't they? Let's have a look at the season preview, shall we, where we can see the Media Dream 11. We'll have a look through some of the best players in the world in this database, but you can see here Bolton, Charlton, Derby. They're teams I associate with the Premier League growing up, many of whom haven't been there in a little while. If we look at the Media Dream 11, you can see here Barthez, Ferdinand playing for Leeds United. Wow, what a player, Rio Ferdinand. Just so happened to be age 22. You can see here the key player is Juan Sebastian Veron, who has just transferred from Lazio, if I'm not mistaken. You can see here £28 million paid. It also has all the player stats from their previous years, which is really nice. Of course, within the limitations of the game, there are little things to be aware of, such as the fact the database has to still start in 2020, which I know it's a little bit weird to get kind of used to begin with, but once you get used to it, I promise you it's fine. Also, stuff like player wages are set to their old values. So there's not going to be many players on £100,000 a week. And while looking at Vieira, he'd probably warrant £100,000 a week if he was playing in 2021. Because wow, what a insane player. Back many years ago, the player kind of attribute distribution was very, very different. Messi and Ronaldo weren't born, and players were just really overpowered. It was normal to have 20s. I mean, look at Roy Keane here. Oh my word, he's absolutely insane. And also, we've got a young Michael Owen, who is aged only 21. He looks absolutely phenomenal. You can see here, United favourites to win the league, then Arsenal, then Liverpool. You can see all the old managers also exist with their attributes as they were back in the day. Of course, Football Manager has added some new stuff in over the last, I mean, if it hadn't added anything in 20 years, it'd be a bit boring, wouldn't it? So as a result, there are small caveats to the database where things have to be different. If we just look at the world, I feel like this is where it gets exciting, isn't it? Let's look at the biggest clubs in the world. You've got United, you've got Real Madrid, who have Figo. He's pretty good, isn't he? He is quite good, to be fair to him. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely insane. It's worth noting that when you do start a new save game, real players will exist, like the current real players. I mean, in the case of Ramos, he's a 15-year-old playing for Sevilla rather than the captain of Real Madrid. That will update within the first few weeks of playing the game. Football Manager doesn't like it when you change things drastically at the start. If we just look at La Liga, you can see here it's all fully fleshed out. Zidane, he exists. He's a thing. He's absolutely nutty. Elsewhere, Rivaldo at centre mid. I mean, the fact they're putting him in centre mid in the Media Dream 11 feels like a little bit of disrespect, but these players in the match engine are going to be insane. Also, attempts overhead kicks as a trait on Rivaldo. I respect it. Cliver up front. I mean, I will be honest with you. I was 8 years old when most of these players are playing at this point in their careers, but even I'm getting a little bit of a tickle of nostalgia. Just players who, I mean, are held in such high esteem that the fact you can kind of play with them in Football Manager is just really, really cool. As I said, with the instance of Spain, the second division is also playable where an Atletico Madrid play. So if you're looking for a fun challenge, Atleti might be a fun little save game. That would be my personal recommendation in terms of, teams available. You can see here some of the players. I mean, it's just silly. It's just silly how good some of these players are. Some I thought would be better than they are. Shevchenko, little underrated. Is that an unpopular opinion? If we just have a look at Serie A here, you can see Roma, Lazio, Milan. They're the big dogs. Juve haven't run away with it just yet. Although they have got players like Buffon in goal, who is only 23. I mean, this man is still playing football. And he's 23 here. It's absolutely insane. The amount of work that's gone into this, I'm sure that you can tell as I go through these players. Each and every team has been recreated. If we just go to someone like Regina, not many people probably know Francesco Cozza who are watching this video, but the mad scientist has added him into the game with all his proper attributes and stuff. He's even got a face in the face pack made by AJW. Yeah, it's a mind-boggling amount of work that has gone into this. If we just have a quick peek in France, where I believe the top league is playable, and look at Ligue 1 here. Who's the favourites? It's Lyon, and it's a Lyon team that have Sonny Anderson in their team, aged 30. So one thing you might notice with this database is there are players like Sergio Ramos who are only 15 in the game. I don't think that they were in the database in the original kind of Championship Manager that this is based off, but one player who I know does exist who definitely wasn't around then, I think is Messi. I think he's 14. I mean, there is a 14-year-old Messi with one strength, one jumping reach, one balance. Look how they massacred my boy. Now, I don't think he was in Championship Manager back in the day, but I imagine, we're going to take a peek with the editor, everyone. How good is he? He's got 200 potential ability, so he can become the Messi of the real world. So, yeah, if you want a little bit of a project, he might be an option. He's got a release clause of £50,000. I already know that he's going to be a player that absolutely everyone tries to sign. Presumably, Ronaldo's in this database. I mean, I was thinking of Cristiano Ronaldo, but you know what? Let's just look at actual Ronaldo, R9 Ronaldo, the real Ronaldo. I feel like I'm offending Cristiano by calling this guy the real Ronaldo, but he's the OG. He was around first. 20 flair, model citizen personality, 24 years old. I mean, I feel like I need to do a save game in this database, if I'm being honest. I thought, actually, when I heard, it's going to be 2001, 2002, I was young back then. I was a wee lad. I don't necessarily have the same nostalgia, but I'm kind of surprised at how many players I am just remembering from this list. Let's have a look at Cristiano Ronaldo, shall we? He is 16. He's, of course, got his little face pack going on. 20 flair, 20 natural fitness. I feel like his jumping reach should be high, but he kind of learnt to jump when he was older. I'm concerned with a player like Ronaldo. The way that Football Manager develops, he's never going to develop into the Ronaldo of the real world. I mean, that's kind of got to be a mission, right? If you're going to use these players. Again, I'm going to use the in-game editor. I'm a very cheaty person. I just want to know how good he is. 196 potential ability, everyone. Messi is better. The mad scientist has decided it for us all. If you have any issues with players' attributes like Ronaldo's, I'm pretty sure they are just taken from the game. So it's the mad scientist. He might be mad, but he's not biased. I can assure you of that much. Interestingly, I've just seen here, it has Ronaldo's old career stats for kind of previous years. For all the retired players, it has kind of their history up until the older years. With Ronaldo, he just gets his full history. Of course, with a project this big where there are millions of changes, there's going to be the odd issue here and there, but I think it's impossible to kind of ignore the level of work that's gone into this, the dedication that's gone into this as well. I'm just wondering if there's any other players that we've missed here. There's players like Beckham who, I mean, he looks pretty good. I mean, that United kit is a vibe. Even as a Liverpool fan, I can recognise some of these old kits and go, they were good shirts back in the day. Who else is here? We've looked at Vieira, we've looked at Buffon, Roberto Carlos. I thought he'd be better. I mean, there's lots of yellow and he's just not very good defensively. I mean, he's incredible going forward. Train him as a left attacking mid and he'll be absolutely phenomenal. Did anyone else think Carlos was going to be better? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it is just me. I mean, this is just, it's tickling my nostalgia. We've not looked at the Bundesliga yet. Let's go look at the Bundesliga. I want to have a poke around everything that's here. So you can see it, Bayern, they've won it the last 3 years. So nothing's really changed in Germany in 20 years, it turns out. It's still Bayern and Dortmund at the top. You can see here Oliver Kahn, one of the best goalkeepers of a generation. I mean, he's really strong and really good at shot stopping. His aerial reach, questionable. But it's just insane. The players in this database, because of how the scaling was different back then, are absolutely nuts. It's kind of a case of every player is overpowered, so no one is overpowered. We've not looked at Scotland yet. I know that the Scottish viewers, they're sat there thinking, can we have a quick look at Scotland? I'll give you a quick preview. Of course, with this project, because there's so many changes, I can't really show it all in a video, but I think the best thing I can do is give you a big overview, just to give you an idea of the detail that's gone into this. So, if we go to the Scottish Premiership, we can see here, Hendrik Larsson, the Scottish Premiership has already begun in August. Hendrik Larsson, rocking his specs. That's not a face pack picture. That's just his staff picture in my regular Football Manager. Of course, if you do have a face pack installed, then you add in the AJW one, you might get some old men faces like Larsson here. He didn't have those glasses back in 2001. I can assure you of that. Pretty good signing, though, for 650k. Yeah, he's nuts, isn't he? I mean, he presumably is the best player in the league. Yeah, he is. And then you got Bobby Petter as well, right up there. Age 27, out on the left wing, looks great. Players like Barry Ferguson. I'm trying to think if there's any other names I recognise here. Danny Griffin? There's the odd name here I recognise. I've got to be honest, Scottish fans. Aged 8 years old, wasn't really watching the Scottish Premiership, so I don't exactly recognise a load of these players. I'm sure for some of you, you're sat there pointing, thinking, I know that guy, he was great. But yeah, I mean, it's here, it's playable. If you want it, it exists. Right, I'll tell you what we're going to do to end things today. I'm going to go and look at Liverpool because I'm a biased Liverpool fan. I just want to look at a squad that I remember. I mean, Chris Kirkland is the hot prospect. I shouldn't do it. I just need to know how good Chris Kirkland is in this database. 163 potential ability. He played for England once, though, didn't he? So he probably deserves that. The mad scientist is just doing the biased English researcher's job from 2001 and bringing it forward. He's not the man to blame for the fact that Chris Kirkland is perhaps the best English goalkeeper. Obviously, we've looked at Owen, but just as a reminder, fast. That's the description. 19 finishing as well. He looks so good. Robbie Fowler, 21 years old. Steven Gerrard. I mean, I'm not being funny. If you saw a 21-year-old centre mid this good in your Football Manager, it's just a regen, innit? It's just that you don't get real players like this good anymore. You just don't. They don't exist in Football Manager. It'd have to be a regen. He's got 5 caps for England. Beckham is vice-captain and key player. Gary Neville. He looks really bad. Does he look really bad, or is it just me? I just feel like his physicals aren't great. And I know someone's going to say 19 natural fitness. 19 natural fitness on a right back is not a redeeming quality, everyone, and I will not be convinced otherwise. Although, 18 long throws. I mean, if you play FM21 with your long throws, maybe he is your man after all. Let's have a quick look at the England squad, shall we? Got players like Gareth Barry, Owen Hargreaves, Ashley Cole. Oh, I mean, some of these players are just absolutely phenomenal for their age. They're just sillily good, aren't they? Gareth Barry, questionable haircut back in 2001. I don't remember him having the longer hair. Danny Mills, do you have any hair? No, he doesn't. Andy Cole's there. Southgate, David Seaman. Please be a fantastic picture of Seaman. It's all I want. Don't take that out of context. Oh, look at that. No ponytail. I think we'll end on that disappointment, won't we? Yeah, as I said at the top of this video, down below, there is a link for the downloads for this, for the save game and the database file. The database is the .fmf file. The save game, which you can just load like any save game once it's downloaded, is a .fm file. Of course, there is the face pack and some other stuff going. This project is ongoing. I will link down to the Mad Scientist's Twitter down below. He tends to pin on his Twitter the latest news, the latest releases as they come out. So if you're watching this video in a few months, there may be some new leagues available. There may be a logo pack out, a kit pack out. I don't know. I mean, hopefully there is, because I just want to see this project continue to be worked on. Because, to be frank, it's absolutely phenomenal. Anyway, gang, that is going to wrap up everything from me today. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Do drop a like on it if you have. We will be back again with more of this kind of content very, very soon. And well, until then, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.